David Christensen asks, did you enjoy directing and will you do it again? And in a related question, Jerome Pym asks, how different is it to stand behind the camera than before it?
Yes, I'm planning on directing again. I'm in the middle of optioning a script right now that we're about to close our deal with our writer, which is a wonderful script. I've been looking for about 3 years for the right project now that I have my style. So I found it. It's great, and I'm just hoping that I can afford it. and once we buy it, then we look for our financing. You know how that goes. It's all business, and then we get to the fun part, which is making the movie, which hopefully will be the beginning of next year, and that'll be in post all through next year, which would be great. That's my goal. I'm pretty sure this one's going to happen, so I'm pretty excited about it, and it's along the lines of what I consider to be, I think we talked about this, I'm not sure, along the lines of horror in the way that, say, Spring Breakers, I believe, is sort of a horror film. I mean, it's so disturbing and horrific. Bully kids, like all of the Lovely Bones to me is a horror film. Like all of these really disturbing looks at people and who they are on the inside, but in a very colorful, pop culture-y kind of stylistic way is sort of what I tried to do with Among Friends. So I think that's kind of my style a bit. So the script is really great. If I Know What You Did Last Summer was made today and it was not commercial and it was freaking badass, like this is kind of in that vein. With the tone of Bully, that like sticky, sweaty, disgusting, just messed up, trashy, just deliciously trashy is what I love. Like Todd Solondz, like his movies are my favorite. They're so disturbing that I love that kind of comedy, which I think you can see in Among Friends too. They're just really wrong. So I want to make movies like that. So yes, I'm planning on directing. And for me, being behind the camera is harder. Because you're wearing so many hats, but I prefer it because I'm challenged and I'm learning every day, and I much prefer to be in a baseball hat and jeans and a t-shirt and telling people what to do versus and being part of what the movie looks like at the end of the day, not kind of hoping that it comes out good. And I love the music part of it. I love, there's so much that I really enjoyed that I didn't really know about before I was behind the camera.
You've already answered this question from Sean Joyce, but he says, can't wait to see Among Friends. Do you have any other films coming up that you'll be directing?
Just this one so far. And then I'm sure, people have to realize that it's a good 3 years of really living with a movie. From finding the movie to getting the financing to going into production and finishing it and then traveling the festival circuit and trying to do press for it. It's 3 years of your life that you live with the movie, so you really have to love it to want to live with it. I don't get to come on for 3 weeks and be done with it and start something else. I have to marry it, essentially. So it's got to be the right thing, and I think that this movie is the right thing. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll find something else.
Jim Grundy asks, would you ever consider coming to Fright Fest in England? And, in a related question, William Sefton asks, Danielle, come back to the UK and do another convention soon, please. Just watched The Victim. You're brilliant.
Oh, thank you. I actually have been to Fright Fest because Hatchet 2 premiered there. So I was already there, and I love that festival. I would love to have another movie there.
He's going to hate that answer because he obviously missed it.
I know. What are you thinking? Do your homework before you ask the question. No, it's okay. And another convention in the UK, I would love to. I went last July 4th weekend, I think, for the Comic-Con there. And I was there for a few days, and it was great. I would love to come back, but I'm taking a break from conventions for a while, so maybe next time I'll come back, I'll be able to get into Fright Fest again.
Preston Taylor Smoke asks, ever thought about going to Calgary Expo? Would be awesome if you went there.
I have actually, I've tried to go a couple of times, but I think timing hasn't really quite worked out, and you can only do so many in a year. So if I have something to promote, then absolutely. I don't usually like to do too many if I don't have some fun things to talk about.
Henry Ordway Jr. says, have you seen Ginger Snaps yet? I gave you the Ginger Snaps trilogy
Yes,
at Monster
I remember.
Mania 24.
I have the DVD. It was very kind. I have actually not sat down and watched it yet, but I promise next time I see him, I will watch it.
But he says, why I ask is that at the Horror Hound convention in September, you're going to be in the middle of the Ginger Snaps pack.
I hear. I guess they're all going to be there when I'm there, so I guess I better watch it next month so
You've
I know.
got your homework assigned.
Yes, I do.
Right. Sean Joyce and Anthony Rubio asked the same question. What's the weirdest thing a fan has said or given you at a convention?
I could go on and on and on. I get the very basic standard questions, which are, and I will go down the list in order of how they normally are, which is, were you scared when you did Halloween? No. What was Rob Zombie like to work with? Great. Have you ever had nightmares of Michael Myers? No. And how was Donald Pleasance to work with? Great. So those are the four standard. The other one that is every third person is, how tall are you? You look so much taller on TV, which I always say I'm 5'7", which is obviously a blatant lie. And they look at me like I'm crazy, and then they're too afraid to comment that I look shorter, so they usually end up leaving, because that's like asking a woman how much she weighs or how old she is. So I usually just say with a straight face, I'm 5'7", and they look totally confused. I'm totally outing myself right now, by the way. But I know someone's going to come up and be like, you're 5'7", aren't you? You know, just to be funny. I do love when I tweet things and people bring me them. Like I love Swedish Fish, the candy, so I've gotten a lot of that. I am a whiskey fan, so I have received a few bottles of whiskey when I'm in Tennessee or Kentucky or
Sounds like
Moonshine.
you're taking advantage of these fans.
I don't even ask
Twitter.
for it. I'll just tweet like, woohoo, got my Jack Daniels on, and then I'll get a bottle next time I go somewhere. So not asking for alcohol or sugar, but it just so happens to come to me sometimes. I do get sweet gifts, from people that make me great art that I do have in my office, and I do keep all that stuff. People want to pick me up because they think I'm a little girl, which is always really weird. That's not ever going to happen. Just really odd. I think I said earlier that someone, I don't know if we talked about it or not. I've been talking a lot today. A woman came up to me recently and had a little girl who was about 2 or 3, and she was crying hysterically, and I was totally tripped out. And she said, this is my daughter. This is Jamie. And I was like, it was as though I was like the father that had never met the child before. It was a very weird, like, oh my God, is that my child? Kind of the way she was telling me. And then she goes, I named her after you. I named her after Jamie Lloyd. And my reaction was, you do understand you named your daughter after me, and I killed my mom in the movie? I mean, I don't know if you're aware of the correlation here or not.
Bad omen. It's
very weird. So yeah, the serial killer uncle turns into killing her stepmom. Very strange. Very flattered, but just kind of interesting. Or Darian, I'm like, that I was like a brat in that movie. I don't know why you would name your kid after me. He was a total brat to her father. So there's always some interesting. Kane and I actually, usually on a Sunday at the end of a weekend, I keep wanting to like write a book and like write down the most ridiculous things. I actually have a really great story about Sean Whalen, who's in Hatchet 3. Sean's genius. And I guess in his role, I think it was in People Under the Stairs, he has these prosthetic hand, kind of finger things on, and he has these great pictures on his table recently. And he told me that somebody came up to him. We were talking about ridiculous things people say because they're afraid to talk to you, and they like spend all this time thinking about crap, and then they say the dumbest thing, and then they feel embarrassed and they leave. So this guy came up, or they just don't know that it's wrong to say that stuff. So this guy came up to him and said, hey, how long did that take? And he was like, what? And he goes, oh, that, that special effects, that stuff. And he was thinking, talking about his hands. He goes, oh, it took a couple of hours. They had to do this and that and this and that. And he goes, no, not the hands, the messed up gums and teeth. And Sean goes, those are mine, dude. And the guy goes, what's that disease called? And Sean goes, dude, it's just my mom. It's the way my mom looks. I got my mom's gums and teeth. And the guy went, oh, and walked away. So you get stuff like that all the time. People ask me like, I'm doing a movie. I'm going to direct this movie. I think you'd be really good if you want to come down and audition for it. Would you want to come down and audition for it? I'm like, sorry, I don't think I'm going to be able to. Well, are you union? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I couldn't work if I wasn't union. Sorry. So it's that stuff where they just, they just don't know. And you can't say like, oh, what's the matter? Like, hello, but there's definitely, I swear, I need to get all my convention friends together and write a book on the craziest crap people say to us.
Ryan Redden asks, how much do you weigh? No, I'm kidding. You didn't say that. You've actually answered the question. He said, what are some of the coolest things your fans have given you at the conventions? Mm-hmm. And are you just taking time off or done with conventions for good after this year?
No, I think I'm just taking some time off. I haven't done a film this year. Specifically, so I don't have anything to really promote next year, really is what it is as well. All the movies that I've done are all coming out before this year, and I really want to focus on trying not to juggle. I'm getting married in January. I'd like to start a family. I'm 36. I'd like to kind of just, do that and then direct a film and be in post, and because I can't act when I'm pregnant, and I don't really want to be traveling around like a crazy person and working those crazy hours and dealing with a lot of people when I'm trying to grow a healthy, normal, nice little place for a child. So I'd like to just kind of start my family. So I think that this is why this year I'm banging them out and really trying to get everywhere that I haven't been or have already been, so I can say hi and bye and all that for a little while. And maybe I'll come back in a few years after things have kind of settled and when I'm ready to promote the movie that I'm directing. So that's a couple of years, I think. But I think it's, people have got to be tired of seeing me by now. I mean, I've been out there for a while, and I've had things to talk about, which is cool, but I think it's, it's just time, just for a little bit.
Glenn Hicks asks, on Facebook, is Danielle Harris really you, a fan account, or someone who manages the page on your behalf?
All of the above. There is a fan page for me that Logan, who also does DanielleHarris.org, and he's actually sort of my creative director on HorrorGal.com that we're starting, should be launching soon actually. So he does all of that, and I'm a very big part of all of that stuff. Everything that goes on there, I send him everything to put on there. I'm on there all the time reading everything. People that think that I don't read stuff, I read all my Twitter stuff. People know I've responded. I'll respond once in a while. But I have 30,000 some odd followers, so it gets pretty difficult to do it. And with my travel schedule, I do not have my own personal Danielle Harris Facebook. I'm going to create one so people can actually, be part of that. I'm most active on Twitter because it's easiest for me. I don't have alerts on my phone for Twitter and Instagram and all that. I don't have those because my phone would probably blow up all the time. But I am very much a part of all of that stuff.
There's a Danielle Harris imposter on
There's
Facebook.
Lots of Danielle Harris imposters. If it's my headshot or a still from a movie, probably not me, because I don't put that stuff on there.
Joey Logan says, would you be interested in having a character based on you or portraying you in an underground horror comic based on a zombie rock opera?
Sounds like what pitch. He sounds like that's what he's creating, yeah. And I'm gonna get an offer pretty soon. I don't know.
Let's break this down.
Yeah,
an underground horror comic based on a zombie rock opera.
I think that sounds very complicated. I think he's trying to think of too many things. Simple is better. You don't need to over-decorate the tree because then it just looks like a mess. So, I'm flattered, but I think I'm good right now.
Michael Zuniga asks, are you a gamer?
I'm not, actually. I barely watch television.
You don't strike me as one.
No, I'm old school. I mean, there's a fly, sorry. If you want to count Super Mario Brothers as being a gamer, then maybe I'm a gamer. But other than that, I don't really. I have a Wii. I've done Michael Jackson, I've done that stuff, but it's definitely not. I don't know. I'm of a different generation maybe. Like my brain doesn't work that fast. I can't even figure out my iPhone. So I don't even know how I would play a video game. I really don't. There's too many control. I mean, I would have no idea how to do it.
Eric Slane asks, do you collect anything?
I don't collect anything
If
specific.
the answer's Hummel figurines, don't reveal that to the fans and
No.
destroy your public image.
I don't collect anything like that.
Okay,
I have some weird things that I do, but I don't collect. Like I've been trying to buy something now that I have a new home. I've been trying to get something for every place that I travel, whether it be, like I went to Mexico and I got some great painted skull. When I was in Spain, I got this big wood piece of like these two dancing people together. So I try to kind of collect things from my travels, so I have that stuff. I am someone like, because I travel so much, I love to cook actually. So I am the girl that when I get on the airplane to go home, I don't buy I still buy my Us Weeklies and People magazine and like that stuff, but I usually buy cooking magazines and tag the ears. So then I come home and I go to the market and I have like a week of being excited to cook for everybody for the entire week. I'm obsessed with my crock pot. I'm so boring. I mean,
this is just like a slight notch below the Hummel figurines. You realize that, right?
I mean, I don't know. I know everyone wants me to be like, I'm 50-50. Like I'm kind of cool, and I'm a total like I like to iron clothes. I don't know. I mean, I clean my makeup brushes. Like I don't know. Like I'm still like totally normal, I think.
I have no idea what language this guy is actually talking.
Oh, no,
so
it's
forgive me
English.
forgive me if he's referring to some sort of a degenerate sex act.
Oh no.
Fred Hung Davis asks,
even his name in general sounds fishy.
Yeah. Will you do an AMA on Reddit?
A what?
An AMA on Reddit.
An AMA unrated?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
I have no idea. Reddit, the website? I don't even know what that really is.
Reddit.
Like Reddit. Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay. Dwayne Blunt asks, I read an article on Icon versus Icon where you said you found your style. Just curious, what style is that? Do you know the article he's talking about?
I think so, yeah. I think you're talking about style as far as directing. And I think that it's taking what I know and love and turning it upside down. Like Among Friends could have been a very basic, simple psychological thriller that was washed out and gritty and grainy and the way that I see a lot of, I didn't have to make a movie within the line. I didn't have to color within the lines because I get this sort of get out of jail free card with my fans that I could do something different. And even through the process of I have like R&B playing while a girl's getting raped. I have like really ridiculous Christmas music while there's a threesome going on, like Jingle Bells is playing or whatever. Like I wanted to have all of this kind of quirky stuff that made me laugh because I thought if it made me laugh, it'd make the audience laugh. Whether or not they pick it up or they get it or it's just a feeling when they can't really explain it, then it worked. Even my score was not your typical big, great horror movie score. It was very subtle and a lot of weird that I kept saying to my composer, like, just give me something freaking weird. I just want like a circus. Like I want like a circus. This is a circus act. So it's like, yeah, circus act, a movie about people at a dinner party. I don't quite understand what's going on. So just trying to make things a little bit different and getting excited by taking a chance, I think is sort of my style. The colors, having it look like something that's more editorial, popping it instead of bringing it down, instead of washing everything out, crushing the blacks, which I was fought on a little bit. My colorist, who's wonderful, also my editor, said it doesn't, and I quote, he said, "This doesn't look like a horror movie," and I said, exactly. That's the point, you guys. But trying to explain that to your creative team is so time consuming that you kind of just have to go, just trust me, I have it all in my head. When I say like, get in and smile to the camera, we're gonna shoot, it's gonna be a Polaroid that comes out of the screen. They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, I can't explain to you what it's gonna look like. So just look in the camera and smile and hold it and hold it and hold it and now go back to the scene. And then we'll freeze frame because I didn't know how it was gonna work. I just knew that's what I wanted in my head. So you get all kinds of different ways to do it, but so I just want to play. So that's my style, is that there is just I have the freedom to express myself in this world. Crossing over into other movies, I'm a little bit more worried about people understanding or giving me a bit of a break. So I'm slowly going to make that crossover. Like my next film is not necessarily specifically genre, even though it appeals to that. It also is an independent film and could go to Sundance and could come to TIFF, and doesn't necessarily have to be in the Midnight Madness. Like it can really be all over the place. Tribeca. So it's a bit across the board. So I think that my style is just having a style, being stylistic, the way that that Quentin has found his style. So that's sort of a bit, I don't know. I'm kind of like can I say a bad word? It's kind of like, fucked up chick stuff that like, I don't know, there's, I don't know, I'm a chick making a movie about like fucked up things. So, and I have a very sick sense of humor about a lot of things. And I think that that's what I'm trying to put on screen.
Chris Holland asks, Danielle, will you marry me?
No.
Yeah. Laziest marriage proposal ever. Christopher Howard Wolf asks, who am I and why am I here?
Ask God.
Scott Kittle says, loved Hatchet 3, loved your perfection of the Deep South accent. What in your life do you enjoy the most, acting, directing, or your charity work with animals?
Oh, that's really hard. Directing, obviously I love. You can't really compare the three. I have an equal love for all of them, for sure.
Tim Evers asks, if you had one wish that would come true, what would it be?
I don't know. It changes the way the wind blows. I just would like to be happy and healthy in my life and live my life to the fullest.
And as this is a horror podcast and we have a certain reputation to uphold, I cannot possibly let that be the last question. So this is a more fitting finale. Rayleigh Wayne asks, do you have a phobia? If so, what is it?
I hate fish, actually.
Fish?
Yeah, I don't eat seafood. Don't like it. I don't mind looking at them underground. I think Piranha was one of the first movies I saw, which really has scarred me, I think. So fish are, when I snorkel, I mean, I have attempted to snorkel, and I've always, at some point, if I feel something tap me from behind, it's like a shark. It could be this big, and I'm screaming and swimming as fast as I can out of the water. So no scuba diving for me. I don't even eat seafood, no. I do have fish at my house, ironically enough. We bought a house that has a koi pond, and they're growing on me. I feed them, and I'm kind of trying to get near them a little bit, but I would never do a movie in the ocean. Like open water would be like, no movies in the water for me.